So here is the actor's notebook and this time I'm going to talk to you guys about video reels, self-tapes, and audition reels, which I promised to talk about in a previous episode of this channel. But now I'm going to talk about it in more detail. I remember I told you guys earlier that it's great to have like some self-tapes on file, and I stand by that. One that shows 2 contrasting monologues, one that shows a 90-second monologue, and then a few different ones. You know, you want to have some good self-tapes already ready, already uploaded to your YouTube. Most people take YouTube, they won't take anything else. So already uploaded to your YouTube. Maybe it'll have a few views, which is great for you. If it doesn't, don't worry about it. But if it does, great. You know, they're seeing that some people are at least interested in some of your work, which is nice. But you want to have those. And how do you find material for those is tricky. I can't really tell you exactly where to find monologues. I can tell you how I like to find my monologues. I like to find monologues just by reading plays. You're an actor. You should love reading plays. That's your whole repertoire. So just read as much as you can and then kind of keep them in the back of your mind for future monologues. If you see one that's really good, keep it with you. And if you see one or hear one just from going to a play and you're like, oh my gosh, that's amazing, keep that with you. Write it down and just keep that with you for future references. Maybe work on it a bit. You'll definitely want to work on it, and you'll also want it to be a challenge, you know, but also it should connect with you in some way, shape, or form. It should maybe not be exactly like you, but have aspects of you in it. And as you continue to work on it, you'll become more comfortable with this character, and also make it a character that you enjoy. Make it a monologue that you enjoy doing, because you're going to do it a lot. You should have at least 10 monologues in your repertoire. Just because some companies, you'll realize you may not want to do that monologue just because maybe they don't like a lot of cussing. You know, and you don't want to have that one for that time, or maybe it just doesn't fit with one of the plays that you're really hoping to get, or maybe one does better. You want to have a good variety in your repertoire, and also a good variety on your YouTube channel for you to send out to them. And some will be in perfect 90-second monologues. Other of them will be like a full minute and a half. Some are okay with you doing like a minute for each monologue. They'll do 2 contrasting minutes for each. Sometimes they want both of them to be a minute. It's really depending on where you're auditioning. And if that place is okay with you doing a minute monologue for each, then you know that maybe you won't do the same 90 seconds you normally do. Maybe you'll switch it up and be able to perform something different for that one time, which is super exciting. So I suggest you find your monologues by going to see plays, reading plays. I don't suggest monologue books unless they tell you the play and give you a description of the character and it actually be like a real play, because you need to know what happens before you start talking and what happens after you start talking. You'll need to know in-depth information about that character for it to be real for you and for it to come to life and for you to be able to do a good job auditioning. So I don't suggest monologue books just because most of the times they don't have that. It's just a book of a lot of people's different writings of monologues that maybe have been published. So I suggest you really look at it through plays. If you do get a monologue book, make sure it's one of those books that tells you what play it is. And gives you like a little history of that character or a history of that play or something like that, and then you can go and find it on your own and see if this is really one that you want to do. So audition reels will come if they're sending you all and they're like, I want you to do a self-tape for this character. They'll send you the slide. A slide is going to be your little chunk of text. Sometimes it'll be just a monologue, sometimes it'll be a conversation between 2, in which case get yourself a good friend to be behind that camera who's kind of expressive, give you a little something to work with, and then read it with them. You'll record that and then you'll send it into them. So the audition reel is super easy. You're already being considered for a specific part, so do your research on that character. Look at the bio and see what they say that character is about, or and try to kind of add a little bit of yourself in that as well. Bring a little something new, something different. You don't want to be like everyone else. But then keep it true to what the writer's vision is. You'll have a lot of those audition reels with films. They'll ask for like this specific character. Some films will be like ad lib if you want, because they want to know exactly what your view of this character is, which I think is really fun. Another thing for reels is if you just have like your audition reel tape, which is basically like if you've done any films, any plays, any movies that have been recorded, you find someone who can put those chunks together to show how basically the variety of differences between the characters that you played, and it'll be like a minute, and it'll basically show like all of your roles. If you have that, if you can do that, if you have those videos and you can find someone that can edit that for you. I have a friend who's an editor, or you're a filmmaker. I have a lot of friends who are filmmakers, so that's a good thing. And they can do that for you. Absolutely have one of those. Those things are amazing. They show your range, they show your history, your resume is pretty much all up in there. They love that. A lot of people will request that. If you don't have that and they want one, I would just send a self-tape. Honestly, send them something. If they want to see something, send them something. You can ask beforehand if they are okay with it, but I would just send it anyway, because you never know, they might watch it. So that's a good thing. But basically those are your kind of reels, your self-tapes, information that you should have in just your knowledge, so that you can kind of submit that things to any theater company, any film, any director that's asked for any of those things. So just be prepared. I suggest having someone else there while you're doing the recording on your tripod or whatever, and your camera or whatever. Not necessarily hold the camera, I suggest using a tripod, but just to have someone to kind of work with, you know, and then maybe can give you a little bit of feedback. Watch your tapes before you submit them. You want to make sure everything's together. But yeah, and then you'll upload all of that usually to YouTube, because YouTube is the best right now and most people don't look anywhere else. So yeah, I hope that helps you guys. Nice talking to you.